How about now? Sound now? Now, can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. I don't know what the hell just happened. All right, everybody, you can hear me now? Is everything working? All right. I have no idea. All right. Everything looks good. Everything sounds clear. All right. I don't know what the hell just happened. All right. Fantastic. Hold on. Let me check something really quick. Okay. No idea why that happened. All right. All right. So we got a little bit of a late start today because when I came in and I was sitting here and I was waiting and I was getting ready to go, and then all of a sudden I noticed that the wrong camera was on, and somehow the camera wasn't working. So I was focused on fixing the camera situation, which now seems to be working fine. The camera looks good. Camera's fine. So I had to reboot everything, and I got all that stuff fixed. And then I come back on, and you can't hear me. And then the microphone doesn't work. I didn't change any of the settings. I didn't touch anything since last night. And everything worked fine last night. So, all right. I swear to God, I was about to just abandon today's show. It has been a rough week. We've had nothing but technical issues this week. And they are all, sometimes we have technical issues and I can take some of the blame for it because maybe I've moved something or maybe I, redid something. And then I'm usually able to, with the help of Ed, or sometimes on my own, I'm able to get to the problem and I can fix it. I had no idea what was happening today. I had not touched anything since last night. And last night's show was fine. Last night's show was great. That's the Pillow Talk show that we're talking about. Typically do that at 9 o'clock every night with me and James Parker. That's Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. That comes on at 9 p.m. Central Time every night. A little bit more conversational than what we do here. This is about headlines. This is about everything that's happening in the day. This is about all the things that you need to know so that you're not walking around this world bumping into walls, talking to people going, I don't know, I didn't hear anything about that. I try and give you a cheat sheet here every day at noon. We call it High Noon. Has nothing to do with drugs. Oh, it's like one of them stoner shows. No, it's not. No, it's not. Haven't had the demon weed in like months. Long time. Long time. This is a sober house, except there's a lot of alcohol. A lot of alcohol around this house, but I don't imbibe in that either. I have, if you've been staying with the show, you know that I am in the midst, not the mist. I'm in the midst of, is that it? Midst? I'm in the midst of leading a Spartan existence for Lent. That's right. That's right. I'm not even Catholic anymore. I was Catholic once, but I am not Catholic anymore. And I decided that I was going to change everything about my life. I'm able to wear. I wasn't able to wear. Summer's coming, right? So we do a lot of boat stuff, and I had gained so much weight, and I already was a piece of garbage last summer. So it's, when you add garbage on top of garbage, now you just got a doubly big pile of garbage, and that's kind of how I looked at myself. And so I decided that the Spartan existence was gonna be waking up earlier. It was going to be getting my 3 miles in a day. It was going to be eating like the worst things possible. Well, they're good for you. Stuff that's got like, I guess you could say I was eating the worst things possible. But for me, I like a cheeseburger. And now I'm eating. You know what I eat for? My snack is at night? Salad. That's right, and I enjoy it. Some cucumbers, some green peppers, some carrots, and some mushrooms. That's it, and I enjoy it. And my Spartan existence is going well. It's going well, but I'm not weighing myself. That's not how I do it. Boy, I've been dieting my whole life. And any of you folks who diet all the time, weighing yourself is the quickest way to get you to abandon the diet. It's like, because it doesn't move fast enough, baby. So what I do is, here's how I am gauging my progress. Every week into this Spartan existence, every week into it, I do a little fashion show. I try on clothes that I couldn't wear before. And if I'm closer to being able to wear them, then I know progress is being made, because it's not about how much I weigh. It's about, can I fit in that sport coat that I can't wear anymore? And just fun fact, still can't fit into it. However, I can now at least button it. I just look like a sausage. All right, let's get into what today is. Let's run down all the things that we're going to be talking about. There's a whole bunch too. There's a load of stuff that we're going to get into. We've got, let me see just quickly. We'll give you a quick Ukraine update. We're going to talk about Jerry Jones and Troy Aikman. Oh my God. Jussie Smollett is trending. We got more Russian oligarchs taking it in the butt. We got Grimes. Who's Grimes? We're going to find out who Grimes is. Disney is trending. Oh, Tinder's making some changes. All kinds. Oh, and we're going to talk about the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Plus Tom Brady, Amy Schumer. We got stuff about a pig heart. We got a question too. A big recall on automobiles. We're going to talk about that. But I got a question for you. There's something that's been trending the last couple of days, and we're going to get into it. And I want you to think about it before we get to it, okay? Here's the question, and it's burning up the interwebs. In this world, are there more doors or are there more wheels? Are there more doors or wheels in this world? The whole internet world, they're all talking about, they're all debating it. People going back and forth. And plus, we've got some new summer concert lineups, too, that we're going to get into. All those things are trending. All those things are in some part headlines. But we start out each and every day with what is today. Well, I'll tell you what today is. Today is the 69th day of the year. It is 296 days remain until the end of the year. So as we like to say on this show, get your New Year's Eve plans started. Okay. Today is, what are we supposed to celebrate today? Today is March 10th. It's World Kidney Day. Do you have a kidney? How many kidneys do we have? Do we have 2 kidneys? It's 2 kidneys, right? Kidneys, we need kidneys. Kidneys are important. What's the thing we don't need? Appendix. That's right. Why don't we need appendix? I know it's kidney day. It's kidney day, and you're going to talk about appendix. Why do we just have like this spare part in our body? Like we're putting together a crib from IKEA. What is the spare body part that we have that we don't need? Doesn't that seem like, hey, religious folks, God doesn't make mistakes, right? What's the deal with the human appendix? Why do we still have it? Why does it only serve to cause us pain and frustration? Oh, his appendix burst and he was rushed to the hospital. Oh, really? Does he need a transplant? No, you don't need an appendix. Then why is it in there? Is it just, oh, you know what? The appendix is the packing corn of the human body. I think that's what it's about. Jeff Glenn says stage 3 kidney. Every day is kidney day for me. Oh, you got kidney disease. That's right. You know what? That's from Jeff, and I hate to bring it up. I don't want to bring up any bad memories, but that's from eating fish out of Lake Louisville. I'm just telling you. Jeff has existed the last 40 years of his life on nothing but fish out of Lake Louisville. And now look at him. Well, we wish you the best of luck. You know what? It's not National Kidney Day or World Kidney Day. I'm sorry. It's World Kidney Day. It's Jeff Glenn Day. That's right. It's Jeff Glenn Day. Let's all take a moment and hold a kind thought for one of the most ardent chat room trolls. He is the bane of the Facebook world's existence. He has been kicked out of Facebook so many times. Troublemaker he is, but in a good way. Happy Jeff Glenn Day. All right. Also, it's National Blueberry Popover Day. That's a stupid day. I'm not going to waste any time on that. It's National Mario Day. Also a stupid day. Not going to waste any time on that. Mario, is this like just anybody named Mario? Because I know a couple of Marios and they're good dudes. But is this like is this the Mario Karts guy? Is this think about Mario. Mario, you know, he's like probably the number one like video game character of all time, right? Mario. I mean, who else you got out there? You got Sonic the Hedgehog, but he ain't even, right? It's Mario. Mario is the breakout. Do you know what Mario is to video games? You know what Mario is to Donkey Kong? Mario is to Donkey Kong what the Fonz was to Happy Days. That's right. I just made that correlation. Donkey Kong was a game, and Donkey Kong, we'll just call him Donkey Kong Richie Cunningham, was supposed to be the star. Donkey Kong Richie Cunningham was supposed to be the breakout star, but along comes Mario Fonzie, and all of a sudden the whole world's talking about Mario Fonzie. See how that works? Happy Mario Day. There's not a National Donkey Kong Day, although there probably is. We just skipped over it. It's National Pack Your Lunch Day. Do you pack your lunch? Weirdo. What are you packing your lunch for? That's odd. It's National Women and Girl. Actually, it's not weird. I actually like to pack my lunch. What have you ever packed your lunch? Grade school, high school. Yeah. Not always though. I mean, I did hot lunches, but I did enjoy. But when I would pack a lunch, it would mean I would go to the White Hen. Tell people what a White Hen is. White Hen is a 7-Eleven. And they had a deli, and I would get like a deli sandwich, and that would be my lunch I would pack. So that was always better than the endless stream of pizza boats and mystery meat and whatever the hell it was that we were getting in the lunch line. Okay, so you're not weird. You know what you are? I think you're weird if you're a grown-up and you pack your lunch. No, they're not. They're saving money. You should be aware of that. You're a broke ass. That's true. That is very true. If I worked in an office, I would probably have to pack a lunch too. No, you know what? If I worked in an office, I probably wouldn't eat a lunch. Because I don't really eat lunch now. I don't eat breakfast or lunch. That's why you're fat. Yeah, that's true. I do. I spent my life consuming like 4,000 calories at 9:00 at night. That's basically in my adult life. That's pretty much how I've eaten. So packing your lunch is fine. Byron says that Mario is more the Frasier to Cheers. Well, sure, if you're 10 years younger than me, that would be applicable. We can go with that. Certainly. Mario is to Donkey Kong what Frasier was to Cheers, a breakout star. Very good. Very good. But I'm old, and I immediately went to Happy Days because the Fonz on Happy Days was not supposed to be the star. Fonz was just supposed to be some guy that they were going to move in. He was going to be in a couple of scenes, and that's it. But then all of a sudden, the whole world went Fonzie crazy. What else is today? Today is National Women and Girls HIV Awareness Day. Well, that's a mouthful. Why the distinction? Why is today the day that we make women and girls aware of HIV/AIDS? Shouldn't we all be? Does HIV/AIDS discriminate based on gender? I don't know. Excuse me. It is National Women and Girls HIV Awareness Day. Jeff Glenn says, I could buy Richie and the gang being high schoolers. But Fonzie always struck me as 25 to 30 years old. Yeah. And you know what else? You know what else was never really discussed in Happy Days about Fonzie? About Les Fonz? He was sleeping with Mrs. Cunningham. Totally, right? We can all agree on that. There was something going on between Fonzie and Mrs. Cunningham. Why is it that every time Fonzie would walk, he'd be like, you look very, very, very good today, Mrs. C. She would blush and she would be like, totally signaling that there's something going on while Arthur's at the hardware shop and Joni and Richie are at school. And Chuck went missing. Chuck was abducted, and they never really covered that because it's the often ignored Cunningham family tragedy, the disappearance of Chuck Cunningham. He just disappeared. He was the older brother. He was there for one season, and suddenly he was gone. But yeah, there was definitely the way she said Arthur. You're absolutely right. The way she moaned Arthur. Oh, there was something going on. Read between the lines. They couldn't address it in 1970s ABC television, but there was something going on between Fonzie and Mrs. Cunningham. I noticed it, and I was like 5. All right, let's talk about the things that make today memorable. Why is today memorable? Okay, in 1876, boy, this is 2 days after we did this. On Monday, we had a note. On Monday was the day that Alexander Graham Bell filed his patent for his stolen telephone idea. That's right, he stole it. I don't know that for a fact, but it seems like everybody back then who got credit for something stole it. So let's just go with Alexander Graham Bell stole the phone. I don't know who he stole it from. He stole it from somebody. So on Monday of 1876, he filed his patent with the United States Patent Office. Today, March 10th on 1876, he made the very first successful test of a telephone. Who did he call? Do you guys know who he called? He called Watson. That's who he called. He called James Watson. Was it whatever? Something like that. I don't know. Do you remember what he said? He said, I know you're there. Pick up. No, he didn't say that. He said, Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you. And of course, Watson's response was, who dis? New phone. Got to give myself that. I'm telling you, tonight during Pillow Talk, Parker does his monologue where he takes, little current event stories or whatever, or the things in history. Today is the day, that kind of stuff. Same kind of thing I'm doing, except he adds a joke to it. He will do that joke. That I am predicting that there will be some version of the Mr. Watson come here, and then the punchline will be Watson responded, who dis new phone? Or could it be what else could he say? He could say no, that's it. He's gonna stick with who dis new phone. So the first, now there is some nobody's exactly sure what the precise wording was. It has been historically noted as Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you, right? However, Mr. Watson himself recalled that it was Mr. Watson, come here, I want you, which is, I like that one. I think that tells us a little bit about how Mr. Watson felt about AGB, right? Which is what he would be called today. If Alexander Graham Bell was around today, everybody would just call him AGB. Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you, versus Mr. Watson, come here, I want you. I like the latter. 1922, on this day, Mahatma Gandhi is arrested in India, tried for sedition, and sentenced to 6 years in prison. He was released early after 2 years because he had, what did he have on National Kidney Day? He had an appendix burst. That's right. The thing he didn't need. Apparently humanity needed an appendix to get Gandhi out of prison. Is that a joke? I don't know. It was glib. I don't know if it was a joke, though. It just came to me, so I went with it. Jeff Glenn, Mr. Watson. Look at him. Ed says, Mr. Watson, come here, I need you. Well, that is what history notes it. However, Mr. Watson himself claims that it was Mr. Watson, come here, I want you. Again, I'm going to go with that. I like that one. Okay, so here, this is interesting. So Gandhi in 1922 was arrested in India and tried for sedition. And this is one of those, what side of history were you on? Because I promise you, if we were in India, let's say we're in India in 1922 and we're sitting around our table and your dad is reading the newspaper and he's like, oh, they finally got that Gandhi son of a bitch. That like a whole bunch of people were like that. They were like that. Yeah, it's just the history. And then history came along and history said, yeah, your grandpa was an asshole. Your dad was an asshole. He was totally wrong about what he felt in the moment because people are stupid. And so there you go. Mahatma Gandhi on this day, 1922, sentenced to prison for sedition. And now he's Gandhi. Now he is the worldwide symbol of peacefulness and kindness and, decency and all that kind of stuff. And of course, he was thrown in prison. In 1952, on this day, Fulgencio Batista, Fulgencio Batista was? He led the successful coup of Cuba. Cuba. I'm saying it right. Cuba. Hold on, though. Let me see something. Was he a communist? Or I thought Batista was was the American puppet. Wait a second. Hold on. I don't know. Was a Cuban military officer and politician who served as the elected president of Cuba from 1940 to 1944 and as its U.S.-backed military. Yeah, that's it. Fulgencio Batista. He was our puppet, and then Castro came along, and then there was no more vacations in beautiful sunny Havana after that. Still no beautiful vacations in sunny Havana. On this day in 1969 in Memphis, Tennessee, this is weird. On this day in 1969 in Memphis, Tennessee, James Earl Ray pleads guilty to the assassination of Martin Luther King. He later unsuccessfully attempts to recant his plea. Why is this weird? Why is it? Just remember I said this was weird. We'll move on, but remember I said this was weird. We'll get to it in a minute. So on this day, James Earl Ray pled guilty to killing Martin Luther King back in 1969. In 1977, astronomers discovered the rings of Uranus. No joke needed. That little piece of history. On this day in 1977, astronomers discovered the rings on Uranus. I also predicted Parker will have a joke on that tonight during the monologue segment of Pillow Talk. 9 p.m. Central Time. Join us, won't you? On this day in 2000, the dot-com bubble peaks with the NASDAQ Composite Stock Market Index reaching 5,048.62. So it peaked. Remember when it burst? I guess it burst like, I don't know, a little time after this, but I remember when it peaked. And I remember back in 2000, guys, big fat guys with their cigars and their like expensive watches, you got an idea. So you pitch them and you're like, hey, I got this idea for a business. We should do this. As the dot-com thing is big. I remember one guy in particular going, the bubble. Everything has been done. There ain't nothing else. 2000, some know-it-all piece of garbage, who made his money doing something sketchy. He was like, I'm not putting any more money in the... Meanwhile, since 2000, everything has been invented with the internet. But in 2000, it's all been done. Never believe anybody who tells you your idea won't work because it's been done or because it's all been done or because it's not happening anymore. Or literally, this old man thought that everything... Talk about having a lack of vision. I mean, it's like, dude, you know why you only have $10 million? Because you have lack of vision. Only $10 million? Well, but there are people out there now who created things with the internet after that guy. After that guy said, it's all been done. There ain't nothing else coming to the internet. You do what you can do on it in June of 2000, and that's it. Nothing more. Meanwhile, the gig economy, social media, I mean, everything. It's all been done. He could have told somebody, it's all been done. You ain't getting no money out of me, kid, with your stupid idea. Who in the world is going to let a stranger in their car drive them places? That's why he's only worth 10 million. And the kid he probably sent away is now worth 50 billion because he invented Uber. Lack of vision. I'm so tired of people having lack of vision. All right, let's look at some birthdays. We got some birthdays that happened in this world. Remember when I told you the James Earl Ray thing was weird? That he pled guilty to killing Martin Luther King on this day in 1969? That's because it was his birthday. James Earl Ray was born on this day in 1928. How weird is that? That's weird. Happy birthday. On your birthday, my present to myself is pleading guilty to assassinating Martin Luther King. Born on this day in 1940, Chuck Norris. Who doesn't like Chuck Norris? I like Chuck Norris. 1940, what is he? 60, 70, 80, he's 82. Chuck Norris is 82. Chuck Norris is 82. All right, I'm going to ask Parker tonight. I'm going to ask Parker if he thinks that he can still take an 82-year-old Chuck Norris. Because I believe it was him, like 20 years ago, who believed he could take a 62-year-old Chuck Norris. I think it was him. I don't know. What do you think Parker's going to say tonight on Pillow Talk? I totally bet you that Parker's going to say that he could take an 82-year-old Chuck Norris. And you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe he can. Maybe he can. Do you think you could take an 82-year-old Chuck Norris? Man, isn't that a question? I think I could. I think I might be. I'm 30 years younger. I think I might be able to take an 82-year-old Chuck Norris. My cardio is good. Oh, his cardio is probably really good. I wonder what Chuck Norris looks like now. Does he look? It probably looks like Chuck Norris. I don't know. That's a good question. Do you think, seriously, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, can you today take in a street fight an 82-year-old Chuck Norris? I don't know. He's probably good with a cane. Walker, probably use that walker in all kinds of ways. Happy birthday, Chuck Norris. I don't want to fight you. I'm just a thought experiment. Born on this day in 1958, Sharon Stone, American actress and producer. She was a big deal for a couple of years. And then she never really, what happened to Chuck Norris? She got, Chuck Norris. What happened to Sharon Stone? I don't know. Born on this day in 1963, American bass player and songwriter and Pearl Jam co-founder Jeff Ament. You don't know that he's a co-founder. I know, I just said that. I was flowing and that word popped in. I don't know. He might be a co-founder. He might be. I don't know. I know he's in Pearl Jam. He's been in Pearl Jam for a long time. Also born on this day in 1963, Rick Rubin, American record producer. Rick Rubin, the white Jewish guy who basically made hip hop a thing. it's true. When you look at like not a thing, it was happening, but like the guy who was really instrumental in like making it crossover and have success on the charts and all that stuff was a white Jewish kid named Rick Rubin. Yeah. Nana Cherry's born on this day in 1963. Do you remember her? She had like one song, Buffalo Stance. I don't even know how it goes. I just know that Nana Cherry, I think, is the daughter of Don Cherry, who is a famous jazz musician. I know that she is the brother of Eagle Eye Cherry. Do you remember Eagle Eye Cherry? Eagle Eye Cherry also, just like his big sister, had one hit. Eagle Eye Cherry had that song, Save Tonight and Find Tomorrow. I don't know how it goes. It goes something like that. Two hits. Two kids, two hits. Hey, we should all be so lucky. Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, was born on this day in 1964. Prince Edward. Is he the child molester? See, this is why the royal family has a problem. Or is that Andrew? That's Andrew. Andrew is the child molester. Andrew's the child molester, and Prince Edward is not the child molester, but, guilt by association, I suppose. Happy birthday, Earl of Wessex. Earl of Wessex. The Kingdom of Wessex. Kingdom of Wessex, instrumental in the unification of of England. The Alfred the Great, of course, the King of Wessex, who now... Why are you doing this? I don't know, because I like that stuff. I like that. I like that history. What else do we have here as far as birthday? John Hamm, born on this day in 1971. Can't tell you how much I hate that he's younger than me. I like to think of John Hamm as being my age, but he's not. He's younger than me. Timbaland, American rapper and producer, was born on this day in 1972. Also born on this day in 1983. Carrie Underwood, born on this day in 1988. One of my absolute favorite people on Saturday Night Live. There is not a sketch that she appears in that I don't start to laugh. I find her so funny. Happy birthday, Ego Wodum. Ego Wodum turns 20, 30, 34. What? Huh? 34? 20, hold on. 20, 30, plus 2, 34. Ego Wodum on Saturday Night Live. She's very funny. Her Dionne Warwick character is really funny. Not because I necessarily find Dionne Warwick funny, but the way she portrays her, the attitude is just very funny. Ego Wodum, I love you. I'm a big fan of yours on Saturday Night Live. And born on this day in 1995, one of my favorite NBA basketball players, and in my opinion, the most underappreciated and forgotten superstars in the league, Zach LaVine. That's right, Zach LaVine from my Chicago Bullies. Zach LaVine, God, he's a baller. That kid's been playing all season on like 50% knees. He needs knee surgery really bad, and he's still balling out every game. That kid has heart. That kid. All right, deaths. Who died on this day? Harriet Tubman died on this day in 1913. There was a little conversation about Harriet Tubman going on in the chat room when it was National or International Women's Day. She did make my top 5. And a lot of people are like, she needs to make your top 5. And I'm like, she's close, but come on. I'm having fun with my top 5. These are not necessarily my top 5 women. They're just the top 5 women that came to my head when I was doing it. And maybe I should have thought about Harriet Tubman, but she didn't come up. And then when you brought her up, I was like, okay, yeah, she deserves. She's got a slot in there. Harriet Tubman, of course, American hero, abolitionist, the conductor of the Underground Railroad. Do you know that there are people out there that, honest to God, believe the Underground Railroad was a railroad? Like they think it was like they rode trains underground to get slaves. Like they knew that it had something to do with slavery. People. I'm telling you. And why? Because we never learned about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman is another one of these people who, our history classes just completely skipped over. Then, yeah, not going to learn about her. We learned about we learned about one great Black American in public school. I think that's changed. I think that Harriet Tubman's getting her due now, more well deserved due. We learned about George Washington Carver. That's it, because he made peanut butter. That was it. He invented peanut butter or something like that. See, I don't even know. Because it wasn't even like if you were teaching me about Harriet Tubman, huh? The Harper's Ferry raid. You teach me about what a badass. She was like a military commander. Her and John Brown led raids on slaveholders and slave owners. She was a badass woman, man. She was really a badass, and we didn't learn anything about it because we had to learn about the guy that did peanut butter. And George Washington Carver, he did peanut butter. Jeff Glenn says, not a fan of Chuck Norris, and I would kick that old man ass up and down one side of the street and down the other. It is Jeff Glenn Day, so I'm not going to push back on that. Sad day. Sad this day in 1913. Harriet Tubman died. Hey, do you remember when they were going to put her on the $20 bill? Like, if memory serves, in 2016, they decided that they were going to place Harriet Tubman's photo, very deserving, by the way, Harriet Tubman's photo on the $20 bill. And who is it? Andrew Jackson? Yeah, that piece of human garbage. Andrew Jackson is just by anybody's objective opinion, a piece of human garbage. And yet he's on our $20 bill. Like, yeah, we got to look at this awful person. We're memorializing this awful person. And then, so they were going to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. And they had spent like $100 million in the process of the changeover. And they're like, yes, we're going to have all these $20 bills by 2022. And this was our 2020. And then in 2017, the Trump administration said, nope, we're not going to do it. We're going to stop it. Even though they were only like $100 million in, they were just like, no, we're not going to put her on. And Mnuchin came out and said, well, we've had the same pictures for so long. And, they made like some bullshit excuse, but really it was just because racists would be upset if there was a black lady on a $20 bill. So, that administration had to placate those kinds of people. So they just decided to end it, even though it was $100 million to the bad already. We'd already spent it was over $100 million, but whatever. With that said, she's been fast tracked again. They're back to doing the $20 bill with Harriet Tubman, and then that'll be stopped again during the next election. They better get it done. They got like 3 years to get it done. They better get those in circulation, or else it's just going to get ended again. President Josh Hawley or somebody, President Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're not going to stand for that. They're going to end it. They don't care. 100 million, 200, 300 million, whatever. That's wasted money well spent in their eye. And really, how long are we going to be using dollars anyway, right? Don't we all use debit cards now? When was the last time you had a $20 bill? I don't even know when the last time I had a $20 bill. What do you use $20 bills for? Well, you never see them. We're not going to have any paper money. Coins? What do you use coins for? What even takes coins these days? So we're moving away from that. So why not just do it? Why not do it? She's going to have like maybe 1 year on a $20 bill before $20 bills go away altogether. I don't know. NFTs. It's all going to be about NFTs, I guess. JBM says, I always have cash for garage sales, but I'm an old woman. Byron's pot guy takes Cash App. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Every weed guy that I've known over the past year or so, they're slowly moving their ventures over into the Venmo and the Cash App. Everybody takes Cash App. I went to a baseball game. And all the vendors were wearing buttons with their Venmos on it. And they don't take cash tips anymore. You just send them a Venmo. You got your phone. They know you got your phone. Pull up a Venmo. All right. On this day, Harriet Tubman died in 1913. On this day in 1988, Andy Gibb, Australian singer, songwriter, and actor. Andy Gibb died. What did Andy Gibb die of? And Andy Gibb had some issues. How you gonna have issues? You're Andy Gibb. How you gonna have issues? Your brothers are all famous. They were famous your whole life. You grew up with money because, again, famous brothers. Then your brothers are so famous, they make you famous. It was like the Donnie Wahlberg New Kids in the Block. Hey, everybody start paying attention to my brother Mark. And then Marky Mark becomes famous, and now he's Mark Wahlberg. Andy Gibb died by late January to early February 88. Gibb had seemingly beaten his drug addiction, regained his health, and was ready to begin recording a new album. However, he still battled depression over his breakup with Victoria Principal. Oh, I can get that. He had prime era Victoria Principal. That was when Andy Gibb was. See, what do you got to be upset about? Well, she broke up with them, so maybe that's a big thing. According to Robin Gibb, his brother Andy just went downhill so fast. He was in a terrible state of depression. On March 5th, 1988, Gibb celebrated his 30th birthday in London while working on the new album. 2 days after celebrating his birthday, he entered John Radcliffe Hospital in Oxford complaining of chest pains. At around 8:30 in the morning on March 10th, 1988, Gibb's doctor informed him more tests were needed to determine the cause of his chest pains. Shortly afterward, Gibb slumped into unconsciousness and died as a result of myocarditis, an inflammation of the heart muscle caused by years of cocaine abuse that fatally weakened his heart. This diagnosis was supported by William Schell, a cardiologist who previously treated Gibb. With the announcement of Gibb's death, his ex-wife, Kim Reeder, was not surprised. She said, "I always knew that one day I'd get a call with news like this. It was only a matter of time." Nice ex-wife. Gibb's family said the cause of death was not an overdose, as some media reports suggested, but natural causes after years of substance abuse. All right, there you go. There you go. Do all that cocaine. He was doing cocaine. That tells me that Victoria Principal did cocaine. It does. Whenever there's a twosome Hollywood couple and one of them is way into drugs and they're together, then I just, guilt by association. Sure, you can say that, but you don't stay in a relationship with people. I have gone out on a couple of dates with someone only to discover that they were into drugs and then been like, yeah, nope. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want to hang out with you, you weirdo. That's not me. Some occasionally, maybe, but no, not with my coffee in the morning. What's wrong with you? Vis-a-vis Victoria Principal, guilt by association. Also died on this day in 1998, Lloyd Bridges. Lloyd Bridges, the patriarch of the Bridges family. You've got Bo, you've got Jeff, you've got Todd. Yep, that's all of them. Those are the Bridges boys. He was he was a big TV and movie star, and then as kids grew up, the son of Mike Nelson, right? Was Mike Nelson from Sea Hunt? God, you're old. No, I'm not Sea Hunt old. I just know a lot about popular culture. Sea Hunt predates me by about 15, 20 years. Sea Hunt was in the 50s, 15 years maybe. I never saw Sea Hunt. I just know that Lloyd Bridges was Mike Nelson because I know stuff. What else? Oh, yeah, he's the guy from the Airplane movies. Picked a bad day to quit sniffing glue. He's funny. That's how I know him. I know him as the guy in charge of air traffic control in the Airplane movies. He's very, very funny in those. So on this day in 1998, the world lost Lloyd Bridges. Also on this day in 2010, boy, we're going to have to delve into this one because I just watched The Lost Boys. Corey Haim. Remember Corey Haim? Corey Haim, Hollywood gave us two Coreys at the same time. They said, pick one. So you can have this variety of Corey. This is the Feldman style Corey. And then this is the Haim variety of Corey. Maybe this is more your speed. Maybe you're more of a Corey Haim variety. And they were like best friends, the two Coreys. They did a bunch of movies together. He went downhill really quick, man. He had, Corey Feldman became famous. Corey Feldman became famous for being Corey Feldman. And then he started to age and it just got all weird with Feldman. Feldman just got weird. And Haim never really got weird. Haim just became like a druggie. See, this is back in the era when we didn't allow child stars to grow into young adult stars and then adult stars. Wasn't a thing. Wasn't really allowed. They let Ron Howard and Jodie Foster through, and that was it. Everyone else, nope, you're not allowed. That was a little bit too much for old Corey Haim. On March 10th, 2010, after Haim's mother phoned 911, paramedics took Haim from their home to Providence St. Joseph Medical Center in Burbank, where he was pronounced dead at 2:15 a.m. He was 38 years old. The 10-minute 911 call made by Haim's mother was leaked on the internet. Haim had been ill with flu-like symptoms for 2 days before his death. A doctor called on him and took his temperature, but did not suspect serious problems. Assistant Chief Coroner Ed Winter said as he got out of bed, he felt a little weak and went down to the floor on his knees. Los Angeles police initially stated that Haim's death appeared to be accidental overdose. Bottles containing Valium, Vicodin, and a muscle relaxant, Soma, and haloperidol, an antipsychotic, were retrieved from his room. It emerged that Haim had used illegal aliases to procure over 553 prescription pills. Oh, he was doc shopping. In the 32 days before his death, having doctor shopped 7 different physicians and used 7 pharmacies to obtain the supply. The pills included 100. Oh, wow. So in the 32 days before his death, he'd acquired 195 Valium, 149 Vicodin, 194 Somas, and 15 Xanax. Haim's agent discounted the possibility of an overdose, citing his recent drive towards clean living and affirming that he had been completely drug-free for 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks! However, Haim's primary doctor confirmed to the DEA that Haim was addicted to pain medication. Oh, Corey Haim was one of these one of the early stage opioid tragedies. Yeah. All right. Well, that's sad. That's very sad. I mean, he was 38 years old. He got to be Corey Haim between like the ages of 15 and 25. So that's pretty good. You could do a lot of living in that. I mean, this isn't like just some anonymous kid, who's like the son of a coal miner and a receptionist in West Virginia who dies of an opioid overdose. I mean, I don't know. What was he just like bummed out because his movie career didn't go? And I don't know. Don't do that. Don't do that to Corey Haim. But you can never take away the fact that Corey Haim got to be Corey Haim. He got to be one of the 2 Corys between 15 and 25. Probably did a lot of living. He probably put more to living into those 10 years than any of us can do combined. Michael says, started dressing like Michael Jackson. Yeah, Corey Feldman. Yeah. Corey Feldman. God, Corey Feldman got weird. Corey Feldman is still weird. Is he though? Is he still weird? Or am I just like because he did a reality show like 10 years ago and he was still weird 10 years ago? I guess I don't know that Corey Feldman is still weird. I want Corey Feldman to be weird. I want him to be weird. All right, let's get into the things that are trending. I teased you with some of the topics we'll be covering on today's show, so let's jump right into it. Ukraine and Russia, they held more talks today or yesterday. I don't know. It's a time difference thing. They sat down and they're like, let's do a ceasefire. And then the other side was like, no. And then they were like, we're done. And that's it. That's pretty much it. I thank you. That was me. I just reenacted the peace talks between Russia and the Ukraine. So that's how well it's going. It is it's going slightly better than the Major League Baseball Players Association and the owners as the lockout enters another. Anyway, so no talks there. China, this is kind of big news. We're watching China in this whole thing. We're watching China, trying to figure out what China's doing. China is abstaining from taking positions in the United Nations, which is good, because the worst thing would have been for China to start siding with Russia. Then it's like, well, we know where China is, but they've been abstaining. And now comes news today that China has refused to supply aircraft parts to Russian airlines and the Russian military. This was stated today by Valery Kudinov, head of Airworthiness Maintenance Department of the Federal Air Transport Agency, also known as Rosaviastia, during a conference on aircraft maintenance. So China's at least doing something. They're at least, they're not helping. They're not helping Russia. They're not helping Putin. They're not giving them anything. They're like, we're not giving you anything. Did you almost just do a semi-racist Chinese impersonation? I plead the fifth on that. What else is happening? Russian tanks. Oh, yeah. Remember the Russian tank column? Remember that a couple of weeks ago? Oh, there's like a 40-mile-long Russian tank column, and they're going to be in Kiev any hour now, and they're going to blow up Kiev. Remember that? Everybody was saying that. I was saying that. It's what it looked like. And then the column just like stalled out because they ran out of gas and food. And then a whole bunch of like guys started defecting. Not defecting. Is it defecting? But a whole bunch of like Russian military dudes who were in those tanks were like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna head over that ridge and go into town. And I'm gonna see if I can get a chicken sandwich or something because there ain't nothing to eat here, and these things ain't moving. And it's freezing. It was like 40 below zero. It's like freezing over there in the Ukraine. So you had this big 40-mile long column, right? Remember, it was a big column. So they're just sitting there. They've stalled out. They've been there for the better part of a week. Yeah, there we go. More than a week. They've been there over a week at this point. They've been just sitting there, and every military expert in the world is like, that ain't good. That is a real strategic error on the part of the Russians. Well, why are they just sitting there? What the hell? They are sitting ducks. And everybody's like, well, why aren't they getting blown up? Well, guess what, folks? Here we go. Here's some drone footage. They're blowing the hell out of that Russian tank column. Go Ukraine.
Нитро, я удар. Слушаю тебя.
Удар я Нитро. 6-й полк почти потерял.
Что?
6-й полк пока не могу доложить, пока собираю. Очень много потерь.
They're just sitting there. They're like dropping bombs on them. They're not going, this is a cluster F. Putin's got to be so embarrassed by this footage. They're all like, let's get out of here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Look at all the different fires burning. All right, there you go. So that's what's happening there. Well done, Ukrainian military. It took you 2 weeks to go, hey, somebody should probably get over there and start blowing them people up. But they did it. And also, it's being reported now that they killed the general in charge of that. There was a general. There was some Russian general, some Russian general who was in charge of that whole column, and they blew him up. They blew him up, and he's dead, and everybody's running now. I don't know, whatever. Nice move. All right, some more news coming out, and I'm okay. So I've been telling you folks that I'm obsessed now with the Netflix series Formula One, Drive to Survive. I love that show. I was only tangentially interested in F1. I have some slight family history with F1, as my uncle used to participate in F1 back in the 1970s. So I've always been aware of it, and I've always been kind of interested in it. But this Netflix series, F1, Drive to Survive, is so good. You know what it really is? It really is to heterosexual men what The Real Housewives series is to heterosexual women. So you know how women really get involved in the drama of Real Housewives? I am like completely involved in all the drama that's going on in Formula One racing because of this incredibly well done series. First of all, you don't even have to know about Formula One. You don't, because over the course of watching it, you're going to get hooked on it. You're going to learn about it. You're going to learn a little bit about it. You're going to understand how it works. Same thing happened a couple of years ago when I started watching these Netflix reality series about Premier League soccer. Suddenly I know all about Premier League soccer. Why? Because the drama of the individuals involved is what hooked me in. And just by osmosis, I now understand how Premier League soccer works. Didn't have a clue before. Now I do. But F1 is the same way. It is so first of all, it's super rich people. It's like, so you got the whole Real Housewives things. this isn't like a bunch of grease monkeys. This isn't like a bunch of cooters, tearing down carburetors. This is like high-tech science, billionaires owning these teams and thousands of people working for these teams and the cars. Woo! These cars are so awesome. So F1 is trending because Russian F1 driver has been dumped out of the sport because his dad, who is a billionaire, who is funding the team, his dad has been sanctioned. Nikita Mazepin, which I don't really know about because I didn't follow the 2021 F1 season. The series on Netflix only takes us through the 2020 season, but here's what I know about this. So Nikita Mazepin is one of the drivers for Haas Racing, which is one of the teams that is focused on in Drive to Survive, the Netflix series. So Haas Racing is run by Gene Haas. It's like the only, it's the only American race team in Formula One. Gene Haas Racing. His father was Carl Haas, legendary guy in Indy cars and all that kind of stuff. So Gene Haas runs a NASCAR team, a very successful NASCAR team from NASCAR. But Gene Haas also is the primary owner of Haas Racing in F1. Now, his team is run by a guy named Gunther Steiner. Gunther Steiner is the president and the chief of Haas Racing. Oh, and Gunther is one of the big stars of the Netflix series. I like Gunther. You know who Gunther is? Gunther is the say anything guy. Gunther has no governor. He's German, and he's got a big, thick German accent. And he just says the wrong thing all the time. Like he offends people, and he doesn't mean to, but anyway, whatever. So Haas had been struggling. So they got rid of both of their drivers. I believe their drivers were Magnussen and Grosjean and Magnussen. And at the end of season 3, which is where we are with F1 Drive to Survive on Netflix, Haas had gotten rid of those two drivers. They got rid of their drivers. They're like, we're starting fresh. And why were they starting fresh? Because they were broke, and it's no joke. They were running out of money, and they needed new sponsors. So what they did was they went to Germany, and they tried to get a big German sponsor to put $200 million into the project. And the German sponsor was like, well, we need a German driver. And so they're like, okay, we can do that. Because the German sponsor wouldn't sponsor a car unless there was a German driver in it. So they got rid of Grosjean and Magnussen. Got rid of them. So now they have 2 open seats in their cars because each team has 2 cars. So they went and I guess they got a German driver, Mick Schumacher. That's right. The son of Michael Schumacher. Basically the Michael Jordan of F1 racing. Michael Schumacher, one of the GOAT. Well, Lewis Hamilton's probably going to take his place. But Michael Schumacher, the GOAT of Formula One racing. And his son, Mick Schumacher, is 20 years old. And he also happens to be German. So the German sponsor was cool with that. So they give Mick Schumacher the seat for the 2021 season. And then they went out and they still needed money. So they went out and got this Nikita Mazepin, whose dad was a billionaire, because they can always use that. They're like, all right, let's bring in, we got a Russian billionaire coming in. All right, Haas Racing, here we go in 2021. And now here we are on the verge of the 2022 season, and Haas has an open seat again because Russian F1 driver has been dumped out of the sport because his father, the Russian billionaire, a true oligarch, has ties to Putin. So that's why F1 is trending today. Nikita Mazepin has been, I don't even know if I'm saying Mazepin maybe. Nikita Mazepin has been added to a list of Russian sanctions over the invasion of Ukraine. The 23-year-old was put on the list due to his father's ties with Vladimir Putin. It comes days after he was released by his Formula One team Haas, which was sponsored by his dad. The sacked Formula One driver and his father, Dmitry, have been added to a list of Russians sanctioned by the European Union. Mazepin, I don't know how to say it, was dropped by Haas on Saturday, with the team also cutting ties with its main sponsor, Uralkali, which is part owned by Dmitry. See, the kid got the seat because his dad was a billionaire and could bring this new sponsor, but the new sponsor is a Putin-tied sponsor. So now here we are, and now Haas is back with an open seat. Probably bring back I don't know. Where's Magnuson? Did he race last year? Probably bring back. They ain't gonna bring back Grosjean. Grosjean crashed too much. It drove him nuts. Grosjean had speed. He was quick, but he put the car on the wall too much. And honestly, when you're on a budget like you are with Haas, you can't afford that. I have no idea what happened in 2021. All I know the 2018 Formula One season, the 2019 Formula One season, and now season 3 of the 2020 Formula One season. So that's why F1 is trending. And that just gave me a nice little excuse to prattle on and on about my new knowledge. DuckDuckGo. I don't know what DuckDuckGo is. Do you know what DuckDuckGo is? DuckDuckGo is trending. Gabriel Weinberg, the founder of DuckDuckGo, announces that the search engine, there you go, it's a search engine, announces that the search engine will downrank sites associated with Russia. This comes following the invasion of the Ukraine. All right, so it's a search engine. Is it... Why do we need more than... Okay, so I agree the competition is good, so you need two. There always needs to be a Pepsi to a Coke. But Google is like the search engine that 99.9% of the world uses for 99.9% of everything. Google. And then there's Bing. You can use Bing. I like to use Bing. Bing has better images. Like if I want to look for a picture of somebody, then I'll use the Bing search engine because the pictures are better. They show up better, at least on my laptop. What is DuckDuckGo? What are they doing that's better than Google? What are you doing that's better than Alta Vista? I mean, remember back in the day, Yahoo search. Yeah, Yahoo was a search engine. That's what Yahoo was. Who the hell uses Yahoo now? Is Yahoo even still a search engine? I don't know. DuckDuckGo. Also, companies that are now out on Russia as of today. We can add Victoria's Secret. There was video of people in a Russian mall. Did you know they had malls in Russia? They do. They got malls just like us. There were videos of like people just lined up to buy stuff at the Victoria's Secret because it's going on a... And I'll tell you, have you ever seen Russian women? They look good. They look good. So all these dudes are like trying to get their last bit of lingerie for their hot Russian girlfriends. DuckDuckGo is out. Victoria's Secrets is out. Pepsi is now out. Nestle is out. Instagram. This is a good one. Instagram is no longer going to be showing. If you've got an Instagram account in Russia, you're not going to show up on any searches or anything like that, and your posts are going to be like buried, so nobody's ever going to see you. Yum Brands. Yum Brands is also out of Russia. That's KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell. And McDonald's. McDonald's has been out for a while. There's a whole... I mean, these are just like the mainstream. I'm only mentioning the things that the average person would be interested in, because this is how you're going to win this war. You're going to win this war by making the average Russian citizen so miserable that once again, they decide to coalesce in the yard of Putin's house, break through the doors, drag him out, and beat him to death with hockey sticks. That is the only way that this war can be won. And unfortunately, it's the Russian people who have to rise up and do it. Didn't we say that same thing with Saddam Hussein? How did that work out? That didn't work out. We had to ultimately do it. Jerry Jones is trending. We covered this last night on the Pillow Talk show with me and Parker at 9:00. He is trending because there is a Dallas woman who has stepped out of the shadows, and she is now saying that Jerry Jones is my daddy. Jerry's my daddy. Jerry. So here's in a nutshell. Jerry's nutshell. Here's what came out of Jerry's nutshell. Late 90s, whatever. I don't know. This woman was working for American Airlines in Little Rock. She was like a desk clerk, and I guess she was hot because creepy old Jerry Jones was like, "Hey, you need to go out with me," and they started dating. And she was married, but she's obviously a piece of garbage because she saw a billionaire and decided to just totally cheat on her husband. So she started dating Jerry on the side, and she got pregnant, and her husband, they're like, "Oh, look at us, we're having babies." And she's like, okay. And then her husband started to get suspicious about her running around on him. So he figured out that she was cheating on him. So they got a divorce. And during the divorce, this is like 25 years ago, maybe now. Yeah, because the kid's 25. So this is 26 years ago. So during the divorce, when she was pregnant, he's like, hey, just there's something going on between her and somebody. It's not clear that the husband at the time of the divorce knew that somebody was Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys, but whatever. He's like, and this kid, I'm not sure this kid is mine, so I want genetic tests. So they did genetic tests during the course of the divorce, and it came up that the man she was married to was not the father. And at that point, she then went to Jerry Jones and said, hey, guess what, dude? You're the dad, because I've only had sex with 2 people. So she claims, I've only had sex with 2 people, and it ain't the guy I'm divorcing's kid. And I'm guessing it's yours, since you're the reason I'm getting divorced. And Jerry was Jerry didn't fight it. He wasn't like, he can't be pregnant. Although Jerry did say that he had his tubes tied. Is that a thing? I don't know. But he said he couldn't get girls pregnant. However, he set up this like real shady like sludge fund and all this stuff. So he gave her a bunch of money back then. And then he set up a trust for the kid. So, it seems like even going back 25, 26 years now that Jerry was like, it's my kid. Whatever. I'm just going to. And so he's been paying for this kid all these years, but there is a condition imposed on the payment on the trust. And that is that if the mother or the daughter, who's now 25 years old, ever spoke publicly about being the love child of Jerry Jones, all the money would stop. Well, she's 25 years old, and this girl has come out of the shadows, and she's like, yeah, whatever. A 25-year-old congressional aide who grew up in North Texas has sued Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, alleging he is her biological father. Attorneys for Alexandra Davis filed a lawsuit Thursday in Dallas County, saying that Jones and her mother had a relationship in the mid-90s from which she was conceived. According to court documents, Jones and Davis's mother, Cynthia Davis, reached a settlement to financially support the mother and child as long as they didn't publicly identify Jones as her father. That's everything you just said. You just wasted all of this time. They were also on Big Rich, Texas, which was a reality show. The daughter, Alexandria, and her mom, Cynthia, they were on the final season of Big Rich, Texas, and they were awful because everybody on those shows are awful. The lawsuit was temporarily sealed on Wednesday, that's yesterday, ahead of a hearing scheduled for March 31st. The Dallas Morning News, however, obtained the lawsuit through the county's online record system before it was filed and sealed. Alexandra Davis and her attorney could not be reached for comment by phone. Attorneys listed in court records as representing Jones could not be reached for comment by phone or email Wednesday afternoon. Jim Wilkinson, a personal spokesman for Jones, declined to comment. All right, so that means when your personal spokesperson says anything other than, this is outrageous, this is just another example of a successful man being built by people who are just trying to take what's, anything short of that is an admission of guilt. So when Jerry Jones's representative goes, I have no comment on that, that means, okay, you've said enough. We get it. Because if they were real, they're not going to, this is an abomination. They're not saying that. They're not saying that because they know it's probably true. Jones made millions. We know he's a billionaire. He owns the Cowboys. He's worth a lot of stuff, a lot of money. Lawsuit allegations. According to the court document, Cynthia Davis was married but estranged from her husband when she met Jones. She was working as a ticket counter agent for American Airlines at the airport in Little Rock. And then creepy old Jerry moved in. Jones, quote, pursued Cynthia Davis, and the pair began a relationship. Alexandra Davis was born on December 16th, 1996, and shortly afterwards, Cynthia Davis and her husband filed for divorce. During the divorce proceedings, it was determined through genetic testing that Alexandra Davis was not the child of Cynthia Davis's husband. He was not ordered to pay any child support when the divorce was finalized, and Alexandra Davis did not have a legal father. After receiving the test results, Cynthia Davis told Jerry Jones that he was Alexandra's biological father. According to court documents, Jones had told Cynthia Davis that he had not been able to have children. All right, so it just gets worse. Here's my takeaway from this thing. 100% true. It's obviously true. It is 100% obviously true that all of these years, Jerry Jones had another girl living in the same area as him his entire life. He has never met her. He has never laid eyes on her. Ask yourself, not that we had these glowing ideas of the perfect human that Jerry Jones was before this, but think about what a piece of human trash that is. That you have. It's not like, you met a waitress and you got her pregnant and then you ran. You're a piece of human trash too. But maybe that guy, he doesn't have money, he doesn't have resources. It's like, oh, he probably feels bad about it. Maybe he doesn't feel bad about it. But what I'm saying, the situation is different. Jerry Jones is a billionaire. Jerry Jones has no excuse for not having lunch once a week for the last 15 years with this girl that he fathered, who he has never been in her life. But checks kept rolling in, and mom got checks every month for the last 25 years because maybe Jerry's just a nice guy. I mean, remember with the cheerleaders, he said that nothing happened with the cheerleaders, that they weren't sexually accosted by Rich Dalrymple, and that there was no proof of that, and that nothing happened. But he gave the cheerleaders millions of dollars anyway because he felt bad for them, because Jerry's a nice guy. Is this the same thing? Yeah, she's not my kid. I just felt bad for her. I wanted to help. I'm a benevolent billionaire. No, you're not, Jerry. No, you're not. You're not. You're a bad guy, and you knew this was your kid, and so you tried to keep it quiet because you didn't want your wife and your other weird kids finding out that they had this. She went to SMU. She went 4 years. She lived 4 years at SMU. Jerry Jones lives 3 blocks from SMU. Jerry Jones lives 3 blocks from SMU. His daughter was attending SMU. He was paying for it. His daughter was there. He never once met her. Never birthday present, nothing. So there you go. That's why Jerry Jones is trending. Well, I know we all suspected that he was a piece of human garbage, and now we know. Well, here's a guy who's trending who I don't think is a piece of human garbage. Here's another cowboy-related dude who's trending today who I like. Troy Aikman is trending. Troy boy. I love Troy. Troy Aikman is trending because, he made the big jump. Troy and Buck, man. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck doing Fox football games. I love those two together. They've been together for 20 years. 20 years. They've been sitting there on Sundays. The biggest and the best game of America's game of the week. Every big Sunday afternoon football game of the last 20 years, we've sat and we've listened to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman bring it to us. And that's probably going to end now. Troy Aikman has signed a $90 million 4-year deal with ESPN. What does ESPN have in Monday Night Football, right? Isn't that it? So Troy Aikman is now going to be the Monday Night Football guy. He has left Fox. He told the Ticket yesterday, reports 1310 The Ticket in Dallas. He was on the Ticket yesterday, and he told the Ticket that Fox News didn't even try and match it, that Fox News didn't even make an attempt to bring him back. So he just ran. He took $90 million. This is the largest deal of a guy for now. We'll see, because Al Michaels is in play, and Al Michaels is Prime, Amazon Prime. They get exclusive rights to Thursday Night Football starting in the fall, and they're building. Bezos wants a top tier team, so everyone's thinking that they've been open about it. They want Michaels, so you got to figure Amazon is going to dump a whole bunch of money with Al Michaels. But there is going to be so much. The only thing that's not going to change is CBS's Nance and Romo. Nance, as far as the A teams go, for the in football parlance, football broadcasting parlance, there's an A team, a B team, and a C team. The A team is the team that gets the best games of the week. For Fox, that was Troy and Buck. For CBS, that's Jim Nance and Tony Romo. I don't know. I'm pretty much out. I guess Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth would have been NBC's A team, because they do Sunday Night Football. Collinsworth re-signed with NBC to continue doing Thursday Night Football. He made a crap ton of money. These broadcaster salaries are now exceeding quarterback salaries. I mean, not like Patrick Mahomes or, the really big Aaron Rodgers' most recent deal, but they're close. They are close. So $90 million over 4 years. That's what? It's under 20. So what is that like? Oh God, I got to do math. Someone in the chat room, do the math. $90 million over 4 years. Tony Romo got $180 million for 10 years. That one's easy. That's $18 million a year. That's $18 million. That one we can figure out. That's easy. $90 million over 4 years. Whatever. I don't know. They said that it works out. He's paid more than Tony. But everybody's looking to move around now. They got everybody in play. Let's see. Who else did it? Amazon has been trying to close a deal with Al Michaels to make him its lead play-by-play when it starts exclusive broadcasting of Thursday Night Football. After Chris Collinsworth agreed to a $12.5 million a year deal to team with Mike Tirico on NBC's next iteration of Sunday Night Football, Collinsworth was crossed off its list for Thursdays. They're talking about Sean McVay, who just won a Super Bowl with the Rams. Apparently, he's out of contract, and he might be interested in coming and doing so. He's only like 38 years old, and he's going to stop. What is he going to pull, a Madden? Wasn't that like how old Madden was when Madden won a Super Bowl and then went into the booth? So they're saying that Sean McVay might be interested. Though Michaels has been hesitant to break in a new analyst, he and McVay do have a relationship as they live near each other in Los Angeles and even go out to dinner on occasion. McVay has the star power, but we don't know if McVay's any good. What if McVay sucks? I don't know. Anyway, it's all moving around. It's all going to be different. And Troy Aikman has made the jump. Troy Aikman is now going to be doing Monday Night Football. Let's see here. What else do we have? 7.9% is trending. That's the U.S. inflation rate. That's what inflation has gone up. It is a 40-year high. And the inflation rate was already at a 40-year high before the war in the Ukraine broke out and gas prices were sent through the roof. So that's a thing. Jussie Smollett is trending. I thought we were done with that clown. Nope, we ain't. Jussie Smollett is going to be sentenced today. Oh, was he already sentenced? Hold on. Let me pull it up. 1:00 this afternoon, Central Time. Jussie. Did he go to jail? He ain't going to jail. God, I hope he goes to jail. Jussie Smollett would not do well in jail, but he deserves to go to jail. Jussie Smollett, you remember him? He's the guy that he claimed that he was attacked by Trump supporters and racists who didn't like him because he was gay and black and whatever. And he made it all up. And the Chicago Police Department spent like millions of dollars trying to, figure out what happened here. And then what they figured out was he made this shit up. He's just making this up. He's just a troublemaker. Here we go. Okay, Jussie is still trending. Let's see what the latest is. He was due in court at 1:00 today. Okay, 35 seconds ago, TMZ, Jussie Smollett's in court. Okay, so there is no news. Empire star Jussie Smollett faces jail after his conviction for faking racist and homophobic attack. Page 6, watch live, disgraced. Okay, I'll watch this. Page 6 has a watch live thing. Let's see. Ooh. Let's see. All right. It was supposed to start at 1:00. Oh, you can watch it on YouTube. Maybe we'll pull it up. And we'll see what's happening here with Jussie Smollett. Ugh. Pop-ups. Wait, Al Gamboa. So it's 90 million. $90 million. Troy Aikman received $90 million for 4 years of service. Okay, so that comes out to, he says, $22,500,000 a year to work Monday Night Football, to work one night a week, sit there, watch football. I sit there and watch football one night a week, and I don't get paid anything. All right, let's see what's happening with Jussie Smollett.
were not made aware of Prosecutor Dan Webb recommending any sentencing.
Hold on. Let's
Again, are the two brothers.
we don't have cameras though in the courtroom, so we're not going to know. We're not going to know. All right, I'm just going to leave this stream up, and then we'll move on. We'll find. I'll check back every now and again, and I'm sure that some of you folks in the chat room will probably alert me if there is. He's looking at 3 years in prison on each count. So, Roman Abramovich is trending. He's another oligarch. Roman Abramovich is the oligarch who owned Chelsea football in the Premier League. If you remember, he did something that won a lot of people's appreciation. He decided to divest himself of any ownership from Chelsea football, and he pledged that the money that he made from selling the team Chelsea football would then go to Ukrainian relief efforts, which was a very nice and generous gesture on his part, because a lot of people are like, he sucks, he's an oligarch, but he said, okay, I'm going to sell this multi-billion-dollar sports franchise in the city of London, and I'm going to take the money, I'm going to give it to Ukrainian relief, and that was great. But ever since then, they've been slowly whittling away at him. They've seized some of his properties and like all kinds of shit. Whatever that move was, where he said, I'm going to give all the money to the Ukrainians, they were like, not good enough. Your money came from, doing bad stuff that Putin allowed you to do. So there's more on him though now. Okay, remember, he was going to sell the team. He was going to use the money. He was going to give it to Ukrainians. Roman Abramovich has been sanctioned by the government with his assets in the UK frozen. This billionaire's debit card doesn't work. He's going to walk up. He's going to be, damn, what's wrong with this thing? We've all been there, Roman. Not for the reasons that you've been there, but let's see. His UK assets have been frozen, including his multi-million-pound property portfolio. And here's the problem: the Chelsea Football Club. He was going to sell the Chelsea Football Club and give the money to Ukrainians, but now he can't sell the Chelsea Football Club because they've frozen it. The oligarch will be formally barred from traveling to the UK and conducting financial transactions with any individual or business in this country. Chelsea will be given a license to allow it to continue with, quote, football-related activities. So games, including a Premier League match against Norwich City tonight, can go ahead. However, he will be unable to sell the club. The announcement, in effect, leaves the club, which last year won the Champions League, in limbo. There you go. So that is why Roman Abramovich, I mean, that was, he got a lot of people went, oh, that's nice. That's nice of him that he's going to sell his interest in the team. Well, he owns the team. He's going to sell like a big chunk of the team that he owns, and he's going to give that money to Ukrainian relief. And now he can't do that. He probably wasn't going to do it anyway. You can say anything. Like if the whole world is coming down on you, you can say whatever you want. And then people will be like, okay, let's be a little bit less. But apparently, European Union and the United Kingdom, they've cracked down on him. Grimes is trending. Grimes. Do you guys know who Grimes is? I have no idea who Grimes is. I mean, I know who Grimes is insofar as she's Elon Musk's girlfriend and baby mama. But Grimes is also, she's Canadian. She's also a Canadian musician, performer, electronica, weird. She does like weird sci-fi, electronica, pop. I mean, she's weird, right? But apparently, because I didn't know who Grimes, I mean, I knew who Grimes was. I knew like, oh, Grimes, yeah, she's that singer I know nothing about who's got a baby with Elon Musk. That's what I knew. And then today I looked her up and I actually read up about her. And I think, okay. So there are like certain circles where she's kind of important. It's not like, see, I used to choose to believe that she was just like some garage rock person who Elon Musk, fell for and decided to make her famous. But no, she was famous before she met him. She had won like awards and she was like the Canadian Music Performer of the Year, like years before she met him. And so she had her thing going. So it wasn't just all Elon Musk. But she had a baby with him last year. Do you remember the baby? It had that weird name. It was like old English letters, like the A and the E that are attached. It's not even a letter we use anymore, but it's like the letter that they used to use for names like Ethelfled and, well, they had that baby. That was a boy. He was born in 2020, and his name, I can't spell it because it's a bunch of letters that we don't even use anymore. God, that's weird. That boy's name is X Asha 12. X Asha 12. X Asha 12. They probably call him X Asha or something like that. That makes sense. X Asha 12. That is the daughter of Grimes and Elon Musk. He was born in 2020. By the way, that was Elon Musk's 7th kid. He's got 7 kids. Elon Musk, richest man in the world, so it doesn't matter. He could have 50 kids, and like the kids aren't going to be like, we can't have anyone else siphoning off our inheritance. No, he's the richest man in the world. He's got like $200 million, something like that, or 200 billion. There's no way. It doesn't matter. He could have 100 million kids, seriously, and you're all going to be fine. Well, maybe not 100 million. He could have 1 million kids, and you'll all be fine. I mean, if you're willing to live responsibly. Okay, so why is Grimes trending today? Because they had another baby. They had another secret baby. That's right. Remember, I just told you about X Asha 12, who was born in 2020. That was a boy, and that was Elon Musk's 7th kid. Well, it's been revealed today that Grimes and Musk had a second child just this past September 27th. When you're the richest man in the world, you can keep all this stuff quiet. And she has come out now. She's giving an interview and she's saying, yeah, we had this one, but I wasn't pregnant because we used a surrogate. How very sci-fi. She's like super into science fiction and super into like weird stuff. And, Musk is into that stuff. So this little girl was born on September the 22nd. It is Elon Musk's 8th child now, 8th kid. And I'm sure he loves them all equally. With his like 50 businesses and jet set lifestyle, I'm sure he spends real quality time with all 8 of his kids. This little girl, her name is Exadark Sidrael Musk. These are, hi, I'm Grimes, and this is my daughter, Exadark Sidrael Musk, and her older brother, Exasha 12 Musk.